I'm Chris Carpenter from Merito. I've got a pretty special use case for you. I'm going to show how we leverage Claude on the marketing team to create and post blogs. And not so much the creation. The blog I have is already authored. It's already been through the marketing approvals. But getting the blog onto the blog site is something that we can do programmatically. So the question that we got asked from the sales team is if we had any documentation, any sort of PDF documents or a blog that they could send to a customer for why you want to buy licenses from a partner instead of from a software vendor. And so Merito is a value-added partner, and in that effort, we resell licenses as well. The premise behind that question, the answer that we post in the blog, I'll send you the blog link once we're done here. But you would want to buy licenses from Merito specifically because we set expectations from the very beginning, before you even spend $1. And we'll make sure that you know what the licenses will do, what they do well, where you might run into struggles, and then also where and how it fits into the software stack that you already own. That realism also comes in the form of benchmarks as well. So we're not just saying, yes, buy this software and here's all the awesome things it can do. We actually come in and help you understand where it fits into your organization and how you can grow adoption with that tool. We also handle procurement, and a lot of times we can offer a better price than what you actually see when you go direct. Now, that has to do with our partner pricing, and then also because we buy so many licenses and distribute them to different organizations, we get volume pricing as well. I think the most value that we bring is our ability to customize our quick starts. So you're coming to us with a problem, we're solving it with a tool, but then also a methodology. And so a canned type of enablement probably won't work for your organization. You probably want to have assets that you can use out of the gate. You probably have people that might span across the world, so you might need to do training and enablement in India versus the United States, and we have the flexibility to offer whatever type of enablement package you might need, and then custom rollouts. No one rollout is going to be the same unless you're standing up your software delivery program from scratch. So we make sure that it's available. But let me show you what we work with. First and foremost, we're authoring all of our blogs in Markdown these days, just because we work in Confluence, and then also when we programmatically upload our blogs, having it in Markdown it makes it so much easier, where we know where all our H1 tags are and our H2 tags and all of our structured, unstructured lists as well. So this is what the format of the blog looks like when we are going to consume it in our IDE. So let me show you what the problem actually is. On our blog, we've got this platform here, and the blog's already written. It's already approved. We know that. I just showed it to you. It's gone through the review cycles in Confluence, and this is where the marketing team would come in. They'd add the title, they'd add a summary, and then they'd paste the content into the content field there. They'd select a cover image, and they've got all this metadata that they also need to include. And so this is a really cumbersome when we've got our frequently asked questions. This might end up having 6 to 7 different questions, so they've got to populate 7 different questions plus 7 different answers. We've got different fields for keywords, and it's just a lot of data. So what might take 10 minutes will probably be able to trim down to 5, and all about gaining efficiencies, right? That's what our goal is. So here I've got my IDE open, and we've created a markdown file for our Claude skill. Just that way it shows up as a slash command. And what I'm going to do is trigger the slash command. I'm not going to show you the slash command because you're going to create your own for whatever you want to interact with your marketing platforms. But we also have another skill for doing our search engine optimization audits. So after we post the blog, we're going to want to make sure that it's actually search engine optimized. We're only going to have this post in the draft status, and I'm going to go back into our CMS and show you that this worked. But we're going to say post to CMS, and I'm just going to paste the blog. And I haven't actually done this on a demo before, so it worked when we built the system. We're actually going to see how it works live here on a video. That's what that looks like. Post to CMS, and then I actually have the title: "Don't buy Tricentis licenses." A little bit of a scare tactic, and that's not to bash on Tricentis at all. It's just to say, hey, wait a second. If you're going to buy the licenses, these are some things to think about why you might want to route that through a partner. And I don't have an image selected. That's something that the marketing team is still going through approvals on. However, we'll be able to have this in draft status on our CMS, in our live CMS, actually. While this is chugging along, I'm going to take a moment and remind everyone that we actually have 5 frameworks for our Claude partner implementations. So there's 5 different frameworks. The first one is Claude Code Enterprise, where we work with your developers to do something very similar to what we're doing right now, where we stand up your repositories and we enable various agentic command line interface inside your developers' workstations and their different pipelines that they're working on. So we do enable our marketing team to have an IDE, and they work on a mirrored repository for whatever tools they're supporting. This is not that. And we do have a framework that ties in all of your developers, so they all run Claude Code, and that's when they interact with the APIs programmatically. For Framework B, we support the entire development platform as a whole. So developers will run Claude Code, and we'll also enable the programmatic API integration, as well as continuous integration, continuous development, and with a little bit of the Claude AI for some of the people that are in quality assurance, maybe some of the business analysts and the release managers. We've got a lot of development tools that we could integrate into that as well. So Framework B is all about tying the different platforms and integrating them together. Framework C is for the commercial off-the-shelf applications, think like Salesforce and SAP. And then we've got our Claude Workplace Framework, which is Framework D, where your different business units might actually want to integrate with systems like your content management system. And so that's kind of what I'm showing right now, where I'm interacting with the development environment here, but we can create a skill, we can create a connector, we can create an integration with your Claude application on your local desktop. So what I did here, where I pasted the blog into Claude Code in my IDE, we can very easily build that into your Claude application, and then your marketing team could just spawn up a blog post and have it automatically post to your content management system. So that would be our Framework D, which we call Claude Workplace. And then we've got Framework E that ties all of those together, where you've got your different business units and business analysts and anyone who might need to be doing reporting. We can enable Claude to automatically create PowerPoint decks for status reports. We can even have it fill out timesheets if that's a cumbersome process for you. So we've got a lot of options, and all of that sits on our universal backbone where we build this out for you. My effort teed up to Ultra Code, X-High plus workflows. That's going to allow Claude to spin up various sub-agents, and it'll work a lot faster and hopefully go out and create this blog for me. All right, not only has it created the blog, which we'll go take a look in the CMS itself in a second, but it is also going through and it's validating that we have our search engine optimization, specifically our keywords, and then we've got some frequently asked questions as well. And yeah, it's auditing itself based off of the audit skill that we've got configured for this repository. And that runs in the background. And also we have some security scans that run as well. So this isn't actually doing the work in the repository. That's the biggest takeaway that we have right now. I want you to know that the marketing team is learning that they can accomplish a lot more by using the IDE, where they've got a lot more freedom because they're working off the mirrored repository. There's no possible damage that they can do to that code base if they have bypass permissions enabled. There's some things that they can do on their desktop that might cause some issues. Might be some security problems where packages are installed, but that's a different problem for a different day. We do enable them to leverage this, and there are metrics that they can pull. They've got scoped APIs that they can interact with, and they've got MCP servers that they don't have in their Claude desktop application. And so that's the biggest takeaway and the biggest win for them. So right now it goes through and looks like everything is passing. We'll get a final summary here in a second. No, we do not want to publish because we don't have our image assigned to that collection in our content management system. All right, so here in our blog, we've got a blog called Stop, Don't Buy Tricentis Licenses. This is already looking really good. I've got my slug. I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. It's not published yet, which is good. We didn't want it to publish. It actually has 2 versions, so it went through and updated a second, but I didn't actually give it the summary. So I want to make sure that my data is accurate. All right, yep, that looks good. I'm making sure that this is, yep, that's an H2 because I used my pound sign. Well, I just dated myself. That is a hashtag, shift 3 for the hashtag for the younger group. But everything looks good. I'll make sure that that's a list. Yep, that's a structured list, and then this is unstructured. Perfect. The question here, I used Chris Carpenter power stance. Thanks, Claude. Claude's got jokes. We'll keep that there for now. Let the marketing team get a good laugh out of that. Hero image, they're going to configure that here in a second. And then the tag. So this is Tricentis, test automation, software licensing, shelfware. And then we've got our geo. Just looking at these takeaways. Beautiful. Love it. That's the whole demo here. I want to show you that we can use Claude Code to programmatically interact with your content management system and save time for your teams that are doing work. That's the summary. We're able to save time by interacting with the API of your various business applications. And we don't have to do that in our Claude desktop application. We can do that through an IDE or MCP servers. And if you don't have them configured, we can help you. We can build out your connectors. We can build out your skills. We can work them into your delivery pipelines. And if you do want them in your Claude desktop, most likely there is not an integration that exists today, but we can also help you build that if that's something you want to accomplish. So go to merito.com, view the latest blog that we just published. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below. And also would like to see anything custom. If you'd like to have a demo, if you want to sit down with our experts, go ahead and fill out the Contact Us form. And we'd love to help you with your AI journey. Thank you so much.